Brian Smith from he was president of the National Museum of the Tuskegee Airmen, as well as one of the Tuskegee Airmen himself, Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Jefferson.
Yes, indeed.
Alexander, tell us a little bit about your service and where you were.
Well, in a nutshell, I was a fighter pilot for the 332nd Fighter Group. I flew combat out of Italy, escorting the B-17s from Italy to Germany, Italy to Proesti, top cover. And I flew 18 of those long-range missions. And then on my 19th mission, we were strafing radar stations on the coast of southern France. And I ran into some German ground fire that didn't do quite well with a P-51. And darn thing came through the floor. I had to pull up and bail out. And as I landed right in the middle of the Germans who shot me down, I spent 9 months in Germany as a POW at Stalag Luft 3. Same camp that's very famous for the guys who went out through the tunnel. But I didn't go out through the tunnel. I waited until General Patton's Third Army liberated the camp that I was in. They transferred us to Stalag 7A near Munich. That's where I was liberated after 9 months. And I saw Dachau 2 days later. People today tell me, well, Jeff, Dachau is a hoax. Then I have to use some expletive, deletive words to express the ovens are still warm, thousands of dead bodies. But man's inhumanity to man, which is still going on today, but that's another story.
You look at that and you talk about legacies. You talk about what you saw. What do you see as the legacy of your combat squadron and this group of flyers long term? What's been the ramifications of what you guys went through?
We had a job to do. We had a job of proving equality, proving that we could do anything anybody else did. We rose to the occasion, and I believe we vindicated ourselves and the human race. Best country in the world. It ain't perfect. We still got a lot of crazy kooks in this country. But where the hell are you going to go? Isn't it ironic? Everybody's trying to get here. Immigration? Nobody's trying to leave. We don't have any gates trying to keep people from leaving. Everybody's trying to get here. I tell young people every day, you're part of it. Learn how to play the game. Never join a baseball game with football rules. This life we lead is like a game. You go to church, you get married, you have a job, mortgage, raise your kids. Learn how to play the game. Don't come in with baseball rules. But anyway.
Brian, can you talk a little bit about the museum itself too, its creation and really what the goal and the mission of the museum is as well?
Sure. The museum was created in about 1987 by the Tuskegee Airmen, and it was there to keep their history alive and to tell it accurately. No better way to tell the history than by the airmen themselves. I joined the airmen about 30 years ago. The first Tuskegee Airman I met was Alexander Jefferson.
In a hobby shop. In a hobby shop.
That's right.
It was, 16, 14?
Well, I was a little older than that, but I was still a youngster. I hadn't finished college yet, and I joined these guys. I had to hear their stories. My dad's a World War II vet, so I was very interested in World War II history. I had to hear their story, and I hung around to hear the stories and became involved and started working. And the mission is to keep the history alive, keep it accurate, and to influence young people to go into aviation careers, which is what we're doing with the Tuskegee Airmen. We have motor gliders. They're here at Oshkosh. We teach young people how to fly. Now we're flying the historic aircraft. This aircraft was actually flown by Alexander Jefferson at Tuskegee Army Airfield.
How many years ago?
That was 70 or more.
70 years? Oh my God.
And we found this aircraft that has, history at Tuskegee Army Airfield, so we purchased it, and we're using it as a museum piece to display.
Ultimately, for both you guys, when you see people come out here, talk to you, hear about the history, see the T6, whatever the case is, what do you want them to leave with? What do you want them to go home with? And I'll start with you.
Well, the respect that we did a job. We had a job to do in World War II, and I think we vindicated ourselves. All these years, we're still telling the story, especially to young people. Wake up and join the best country in the world. That's our story.
Brian?
So for me, after the war, America didn't want to hear about the African Americans who flew and actually saved helped win the war. Now America stands at the point of forgetting about the contribution that the Tuskegee Airmen made. So the significance of the museum is to keep that history alive, and is to tell people that still today, I'm just as good as the next guy. All I need is the proper education and training.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, great. Well, I'm sorry.
No, great.
Good. Well, fantastic, guys. Live from EAA grounds, I'm Nate Phelps for Gannett Media, Wisconsin. If you want to learn a little bit more about the Tuskegee Airmen, as well as any number of other aviation subjects, the show runs the event runs all week. So swing on down to Oshkosh. So thank you very much.